If you're doing a newsletter swap, or if you're giving links out in email or in other places to drive traffic to your site, you really should track where that traffic is coming from. And you can do that with what's called a UTM code using the source, medium, and campaign variables within it. It's not difficult. Once you've got it, then you'll be able to track it. So let's pretend that I am sending out a newsletter and I am putting the links in my newsletter and I want to know what people specifically clicked on, and I want that to come back to Google Analytics so that I can see it side by side with everything else that I've done in terms of marketing that month. I'm at utmbuilder.net. This is a free Google URL builder that lets you generate UTM codes. Now, what I've done before this is I've connected Google Analytics to my website. So Google knows that when I send them a link with these tracking codes at the end of it, it will parse those and put them in the report. So the way you build it is to put in your website URL. So I'm going to use authortechsummit.com. And then you have to use what's called a UTM_source. In this case, I'm going to use send in blue. The source, these are all free fields, by the way, but there are some parameters that Google already kind of knows what they're supposed to be. So a source is going to be your newsletter or Twitter or Google or LinkedIn or newsletter swap. You can create whatever you want here. It's so you can track it. Then the next variable is your UTM medium. This is how it's being sent out. So in my case, it's via email. You can also use social, CPC, which is, cost per click, it's advertising. You could use direct, phone, print. You can use all kinds of things here, but it's really just the method of how it's being sent. And then the third variable that you should use is the campaign. So if, for example, you're doing a newsletter swap with multiple authors, you can give them different URLs. So you can say in here, the campaign would be, ABC author, and then you could have a different link in here for CBDMNO author. It's only a way for you to be able to know how that's going to be differentiated on the back end of your reports. You don't really have to put in a content or a term. If you were tracking things between, let's say you had a button at the top of your email and a button at the bottom of your email, and you were tracking to that, granular level, you could put in button A and you could put in button B and then link those in your email newsletter to different ones. But, it's totally up to you if you want to get that deep. I don't. I just want to know that they clicked something and what campaign generated it. So when you're done, it's going to give you a generated UTM tracking URL. This whole big URL you can copy here. And then when I paste it in, it'll go to the right web page. This is going to the homepage of Author Tech Summit, which is right. And then all of this gets picked up by Google and drops into an analytics report, which looks like this. So when I've connected Google Analytics, I can go to my acquisition tab and then my source medium, and then I can see here's my source, send in blue, here's my medium email, and then I've done one little thing so that I can see the campaign, and that is I've gone in here and changed this secondary dimension to, under advertising, there's a campaign. And then when I've done that, it puts up the campaign in the second column here. And now I can see this particular campaign generated 29 clicks. This one generated 1. This one generated 34. This one generated 1. This one generated 11. All of these are the same source. They all came from my email as a direct result of my efforts. And the medium was email. I could have had Send in Blue landing page, or I could have had Google CPC. That's how I know what campaigns are working and when campaigns aren't working. So this is a way for you to independently verify what your clicks are actually doing and how they're arriving at your site. Hope this helps. I hope this helped. And if you need other tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or join our mailing list at indieauthortools.com. We publish a list every Friday of the top 5 tools.